Everything's working, yes, yes. We do a little yapping today. Hello. I got creative today. At the last minute. At the last minute, I made a silly little thing. Because we're talking about summer. It's summertime. Let me make sure everything looks... There we go. That's better. Is that better? I think it's better. Anyway. We got a topic to talk about. I'll be yapping about summer things. Because I don't have focus. My mind goes a million thoughts per second. A million thoughts per second. But I mean, we got some summary things to talk about. Things to talk about, you know. Like snacks. I made this NBR asset like this morning because I thought it'd be kind of funny. Like, what if I just do this? So we were talking about it before. That's a very summary thing to talk about. Yeah, I can't really draw anything at the moment. The setup is just not good. But I am here anyway, and we get to yap. Oh boy. I can do multiple things at once, I guess. How are we all doing? What summary things do you want to yap about now? Cause I got a list of things. A list of things. Kind of. I didn't just make it at the last minute this morning, that's for sure. Well, I did. I did make it at the last minute. Professional yapper over here. Am I right? Yeah, this isn't the usual. Unfortunately. I still want to get rid of that top fans thing. I don't like it. Like, I don't need it, honestly. I don't need such a thing. Because I don't really care. I just do this for the fun of it. Hello! Bestie, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. No need to apologize. Bye-bye. It's okay. We all got lives at the end of the day. We all got things to do, places to be, jobs, education. I don't know. Everybody's got something to do. Unless you're me. I'm kidding. I have things I do. I have things I do. I still think it's funny I made this like this morning, the little the cherry limbier. Because of course it is. Hey Marcus. Some people say there ain't no cure for the summertime blues when all you need is Disney anime boys and a wolf VTuber. I'm not in the wolf appearance today. I am just person right now. Hello. I made Limbeer. You want Limbeer? Welcome back, Marcus. It's not really a toggle. I just drew this morning. I drew this morning because I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I had a little Limbeer as like an asset, and I just, yeah. I drew it this morning. It's cherry flavor. One of my favorites growing up. Speaking of, that is a topic I have written down for discussion. Snow cone. It's like a Puerto Rican sweet ice treat. The best way to describe it. Because for the life of me, I honestly don't know much about like how you make it. I just know that my dad had a friend growing up who, like this family friend, and she would make limbier and pasteles, and she would just give it to people, like all the time. It was good. There was pina colada, Oreo, pineapple. I liked the cherry one because I liked red flavors. But yeah, they come in a bunch of different flavors. It's called limbier. I'm probably saying it a little funky because I don't have a proper Spanish accent, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I have a picture somewhere, but if I don't, I can just pull up a random picture of of what it is for context. I see your folks had a lot of Puerto Rican influences. Yeah, because that's where they're from. That's where they're from. That is me 100%. Let me see. I like this image. I don't know if the image saved. Okay, never mind. My laptop's slow. I need to get rid of this MacBook. Mark your days, MacBook. I'm going to replace you. And you will be sorry. But yeah, here's a sampling. No. But if you saw my mother, you'd probably think that. Anyways, this is beer. This is a sampling of it. It usually comes in like these little plastic cups with lids on them. It's this stuff. Sometimes it's made with like coconut. The best treats. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but like growing up, people would think that I was white. Especially if like you only saw my mom and you didn't see my dad, you'd probably assume that. How do you spell it? Limber. I'm pretty sure they're not that hard to make. I just don't know. I know how you make flan because I've seen my mom make it a bunch of times. You just put like condensed milk, evaporated milk, some other things into like a blender. You definitely don't sound Puerto Rican. Neither do my parents because they speak both languages. But yeah, that's your information for today. And the creature is Hispanic. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before, actually. I just don't know if you were there specifically. New ambi lore unlocked. Pretty much, yeah. The creature is Hispanic. Of the Puerto Rican flavor. I don't think I was. I think, because I remember the reason I thought of the Limbeer thing is because I was talking with Adriana in chat before, and we just went down a rabbit hole of like, yeah, Limbeer. That's how you know summer's good. No wonder you go out for anime then. Yeah. It is true. That is the lore reason. Yeah, this whole week is mostly just gonna be yapping. Because I am, again, not at my regular setup. I'm not in the usual setup, but I must yap. I must stream, even if it's only for a little bit, you know? Even if it's only for a little bit. We still got things to yap about. And since you weren't here yesterday, have something you must yap about. Context, what I mean is I see a lot of Puerto Rican women go wild for fictional men. Understandable. We do be weird. And I'm proud of it. Because speaking of, we have this. It is Deuce Spade's birthday. And we have the summer edition of the birthday cards for this year. The last batch. What must I be caught up on to speak that you referred to? The Twisted Wonderland birthday cards. We had fall, winter, spring, now we're in summer. Yes, he's a fancy boy. Deuce in his fancy outfit for his birthday. He's adorable. And I think the groovy for it is very good, and it gives you a better idea of what's in the cup. It's like one of those jello things that you'd find at like a pop-up cafe. We were talking about this yesterday too, and I'm like, the background with the cheesecake there, it looks like a cheesecake. I'm assuming it's a cheesecake. I love it. I'm just like, I think, I don't know, I like all of the seasonal birthday outfits. I like the themes. I like how every, like, outfit is supposed to match whatever the dessert is. And I'm just like, yes. I mean, I think I do have my favorites out of each season. Some that I think wear it best than others. The cheese touch. That's a pineapple. But that wouldn't be funny if it was cheese, because it's like, why would you have cheese with Jello? That sounds like a horrible combination. And I like cheese. I do be liking cheese. I'm a weirdo for cheese. But like, this is the details of the outfit. We got the spoon necklace, the lace jacket that's see-through, and I like that because it really does give it a more lighter look than the winter outfits or like the other outfits where like you had like a proper jacket. This one's like a lacy jacket. Less heavy, if you will. Amy is a mouse confirmed. I am a little bit mousy, yes. No wonder people confuse my ethnicity. He reminds me of Lumiere. Yeah, it seems fancy. I mean, all the outfits were pretty fancy, but this one has like a different vibe of fancy. I also think it's just because Deuce looks fancy with his hair pulled up like that. I was talking yesterday about how he kind of has like a resting angry face. Like an unintentional, intense look to his face. It's really cute. This is what I'm focusing on. And then next month, well, not next month, but the next birthday for this month is Kaleem's, and I can't wait to see how Kaleem wears this outfit. It's Michelin star fancy, yeah. I need to find the translation for the cards. I haven't read most of the cards in a while because like sometimes it's hard to find the translations for them, or at least the good translations for it. So I take my time just reading through those on my own. But yeah, Deuce is part of summer, so therefore he gets the pass in this summer discussion video. Well, stream. The stream where we're talking about summery things. Deuce is a summer thing. Yeah, because I just want to know what they call the dessert. How accurate are the official EN card translations? I mean, they're okay. I just personally feel like they're not rated for the right game, if you understand what I mean. Because like the target demographic is like that sort of older teen, young adult age range. But the way that the official English app is kind of translated, it's more like general audiences kind of vibes, which I don't really vibe too much with. Especially for like some of the characters that have kind of a more aggressive personality. Like, I've talked about my opinions on the AN translation before, and like, Leona as a character, his insults come off as really childish in the English version. Like, it comes off like a kid who doesn't want to say bad words or something. Like, that's kind of how I feel like it, but for the most part, they're not too far off. It's just that I don't really like how it's stylized, if that makes any sense. Like, it feels like it's not translated for the right demographic. It's like the information is pretty accurate, but the vibes just feel off. In other words, the EN version thinks it's Disney, it's colorful, it's cartoony, so it must be for everyone. Kind of. This isn't just a problem unique with the game anyway, because, like, I have a friend who plays, like, a lot of Otome games. Like, a lot of them. And she's kind of noticed that sometimes when you get Otome games from, like, the App Store, the original versions are usually, you know, rated for their appropriate audience, but, like, the English version ends up being, like, rated E for everyone. And it just makes it feel weird. Because, like, the subject matter can sometimes be something very, like, dark or whatever, but, like, the English version of it kind of, like, waters everything down. And it just feels weird. Like, it's not a unique thing, but it does kind of bother me. Because it's like, I want the original intention. The West just can't handle real maturity. Yeah, pretty much. That's like a general localization issue when it comes to American English versions of things. Except when it comes to violence and gore, they do not care. Violence, gore, sure, why not? Anime women boobs? You've crossed the line, buddy. I've talked about this before. I've talked about this on stream and with friends, but like I feel like with my friends I'm a little bit more aggressive about it. On stream I'm trying to be nice. Because it's like I understand like it's a job, it's a profession. Sometimes people kind of do their jobs poorly because it's like, well, I'm just trying to get this out quick enough, you know. They're not paying me enough or whatever, but at the same time I'm like, but you could do better. You know, like you could take at least more pride in your work and have at least some respect for the fact that you're translating in somebody else's work and it's not yours. But that's just me. That's just me. Anyway, summary topics. What do you call fireflies? Because I call them fireflies. Although I have also flip-flop between calling fireflies and lightning bugs. Like when I was really little, I called them that. Anyways, what about you? What do you refer to fireflies as? I'm curious. Actually, where do most fireflies come from? Like a regional map I need to see. Fireflies. Ooh. I guess I'm a weird one. I flip-flop between calling them fireflies or lightning bugs. I feel like I don't see them that much anymore, which is sad. Either that or I just don't go outside much. Speaking of localization, fun fact, Crunchyroll sometimes likes to use cringe slang like stan in the subtitles and even once tried gendering a character not meant to be gendered. I have my thoughts on Crunchyroll. Oh boy. I don't have nice things to say. Wait, where is this? Do I still have it on here? Okay, yeah. I still have it on here. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. She's gonna be here in the corner to remind me. Remember, it used to be a pirating website. Yeah, pretty much. I remember those days. I remember those days, and now it is one of the biggest yet not very user-friendly anime streaming services. Cause like I remember my mom used to watch One Piece on Crunchyroll, but then after a while she like stopped using it because I guess it just wasn't updating fast enough for her. She mostly watches One Piece on Netflix now. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately it is the better streaming service, even though it has terrible original projects on there. It's easier to find anime on there. And you don't get bogged down with so many freaking ads. Cause like I still need to finish watching Magic Knight Ray Earth on there. Cause I started watching it because I'm like, I've seen this before. I vaguely remember this in the sense that I've heard people talk about it. I think it was brought up in that crossover Clamp series. I don't remember, but I feel like it probably was because like Clamp has like a big old crossover universe thing going on. At least we got the One Piece live action. Funny enough, my mom doesn't really like the One Piece live action. At least she doesn't like the casting for Luffy, which I find kind of interesting because like she's fine with everything else. She just thinks that the guy they got playing Luffy isn't Luffy enough for her. What's Clamp? They're a manga group of women. Of women mangaka. They make manga. They started off as like a doujinshi group in like the 90s with like more like fan comics, crossover stuff of, you know, stuff that was popular in like the 90s and stuff. And then they have like their own like original manga now series, but like even with their original stuff they tend to have it cross over. Like if you've ever heard of Chobits, that's a Clamp series. No, it does not. It does not include Yana. It does not include Yana Toboso. I don't know exactly who the members of Clamp are. But I know they're like a group. Let me see. Oh, there's 4 women in the current members. There used to be a bunch of different artists there, but like there's 4 members currently still part of Clamp. And Yana was never a part of this. Back to more pleasant topics. Any vacation plans this season? I went to the beach by my house. That's about it. I don't have money to do fancy vacation things anymore. Although I do kind of want to go back to a water park. I want to visit a water park again. Although with me, it's just annoying being outside for too long because I don't like being in the sun. I don't I don't like having to deal with like sunblock and whatnot. Beach party. Yeah, I don't like being outside in the heat for too long. But I like water parks. I want to go back to a water park. It's been too long. I kind of want my old job back so I could go to the water parks. Yeah, pretty much. I am an interesting little creature. The sun is a deadly laser. Let me see. It's like I remember when I was younger, we used to go to like this theme park my dad used to go to growing up. At least one of them, because he hates Six Flags. Like he's like, nah, that place sucks. Never go to Six Flags. So we would usually go to like other water parks or theme parks. Because he's just like, I don't like Six Flags. It's not fun. To quote my dad, it was too ghetto for him. He's allowed to say that, okay? But yeah, we would go to like theme parks a lot, and I liked those water parks. They were fun. Although, did I mention? I think I mentioned this before because like it's still funny to me. It's still funny to me that my dad was like he this was like a couple months ago, like maybe last year or something, where he was like randomly just like bringing up something like I remember I was watching this YouTube video about this like water park, and then I'm just like, I remember I went there. Wow, I'm glad. I didn't know it was that dangerous. My dad went to Action Park when he was a kid. He survived Action Park. And I just think it was so funny the way he brought it up. He's like, yeah, I saw a video about it. And I'm just like, no way. That explains a lot. Base anti-Six Flags. I like some of the rides there, but I'm not a roller coaster guy. I just like Monster Mansion, the Looney Tunes stuff, and Justice League Battle for Metropolis. Action Park jump scare? Yeah! He said he was like really little when that was still a thing, because I think he said, I'm pretty sure it was the Defunct Land video. Because that's sometimes a channel that does pop up in his YouTube. But yeah, he went there when he was like really little, and he was like, yeah, I remember that like concrete slide thing, it like bruised up my legs. I think that's the only thing he remembered, because I think when he went there it was still like Action Mountain or something. I don't know. The details are fuzzy. Your dad was protected. Yep, my dad and his brothers. Oh, the crazy things he would talk about. Although I kind of want to go back to Hershey Park. I've only ever been there like once. I don't know what it's like now, but I kind of just want to go back and see what it is like. I don't know what it's like currently. I was only there once. I do want to go back to Disney though. That was fun. I don't care what people say. It's still pretty fun. It was a very fun, magical place. I can't deny it. Although I have been to like Busch Gardens before too. I mean, I'm also not much of a roller coaster person, which is kind of why I do prefer places like Disney. Or like Dorney Park as well. They didn't have that many roller coasters either over there, and some of the roller coasters they did have, they weren't as like crazy. Cause like I remember it was one of my friend's birthdays, and we went to Busch Gardens, and like one of the first things we did, well, one of the first things she did with my other friend was go on this roller coaster. Which was like a big mistake, honestly, because it messed them both up for like the rest of the day. Especially my friend whose birthday it was. That ride knocked the wind out of her, and we still joke about it to this day. I've never been to Hershey Park, but I wanna, mainly for Hershey's Chocolate World. Yeah. The closest I've been to going to a theme park was Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, Texas, and SeaWorld. I never went to SeaWorld, but I did go to some water park that was like across from SeaWorld. Was the fun worth it? I don't think so, because then it rained. It was an awkward birthday trip, honestly, because I don't even remember going on any rides after the roller coaster. Like, we tried to go on another ride, at least me and my other friend, but the weather decided, no, you're done. Pack it up. But I do want to go back again. Just because, like, the first time we all went there, it was, like, kind of awkward. Although I did take some fun pics of animals. Aquatica is the SeaWorld water park. I think that's where I went. That sounds familiar, but I could be wrong. I don't have the best memory for certain things, especially if I've only ever been there like once. Like, if I've ever been there like once, I probably won't be able to remember it that well, but if I've been there multiple times, I'm gonna be able to remember things. But yeah, that's probably it, I think. That was a long time ago, too. I have mentioned I did grow up, like, up north before, so... I remember we used to go to, like, the boardwalks in, like, New Jersey. My dad didn't really like going there that much either. He's dirty over here. But I mean, you know, sometimes you're just invited to go to places and you're like, yeah, sure, I'll go. I don't want to be a party pooper, even though I don't like the place here, but like, hey, family memories. Fun fact, SeaWorld apparently lost the rights to Sesame Street, I think. I didn't even know they had license to use Sesame Street over there. Also, I've never been to Sesame Place either. I mean, it existed when I was a kid, that's for sure, because, like, when my dad was, like, around middle school, that's when it opened, I think. Like, he's been there. I've never been there. Although, then again, I don't think I was that into Sesame Street as a kid in the first place. And I don't know, it was probably just too far from where we were at the time, where my dad was like, I don't want to go over there. But that's interesting to know. I didn't even know that. I love learning new things. Let's see. Fine. What other summer things do I have on my list here? Have pools. I guess that kind of is lumped in with water parks anyway. Although I do remember as a kid we did have a pool in the backyard, so that was fun. Fun times. We also had a trampoline in the backyard too, so you can guess what happens when you have a pool and a trampoline in your backyard. If that trampoline didn't come with a net, I just know we would have tried using that trampoline to jump into the pool. Yeah, Sesame Street was in both Busch Gardens and SeaWorld, and in SeaWorld they even had a kiddie area called Sesame Street Bay of Play. Oh, that's kind of cute, actually. SeaWorld sounds like it's going through an identity crisis at the moment. Cannonball? Yeah. It's a good thing that trampoline had a net because we would have done so many stupid things if that trampoline did not have a net. I mean, we jumped on the net. Me, my sister, my cousins, we were kind of crazy as children. We were crazy children. One of the last generations of crazy children that would go outside and actually play. SeaWorld has been going through an identity crisis for over a decade. Yeah. Ever since the Blackfish documentary. Yeah. I feel like that's really when everything was just like, they're going downhill. There was no saving it at that point. I feel like they really stuck their foot in the sand when it came to their, like, gimmick of being, like, a park with, like, whale shows or whatever. So if you lose that part of your branding, obviously everything is just going to be a mess afterwards, because, like, what do you do to replace it? But it's like, there was definitely ways to replace it. I feel like every decision they've been making was just not it. And now we have parents who want to control their kids via iPads and phones. Unfortunately. Which is very sad, honestly. Thankfully, they still have the sea lions. Yeah, who cares about the sea lions, though? The whales, obviously, are more important. But yeah, I can understand why you would probably not want to keep them whales in captivity, because like they're a bit too big to handle in such a situation. But like, it kind of reminds me of those. Well, not really. Not really a similar comparison, but I'm just thinking about like the people who hate the concept of zoos. Like the places that you go to see wild animals. When it's like, depending on the animals in the zoo, honestly, I don't think they're a problem. They're actual, like, facilities that usually help, you know, educate people about animals and, like, nurse certain animals back to health, so it's like, they're pretty important places, but, yeah, the whales and the orcas in SeaWorld were a different thing. Not just big, but also because the whales have killed too many trainers. Yeah, that too. They're big, they're in a terrible, cramped space, they're getting depression. They're wild animals, you know. Like, it's not good for the long term. Remember Harambe was in the zoo. Oh. Press F for Harambe. That story just makes me sad. And or any situation in which somebody falls into a animal enclosure because either they were being stupid or it was a parent leaving their child unsupervised. And or a parent being dangerously irresponsible with their child. 10 years. Man, it's really been that long. I don't like being reminded of the passage of time. We're all old. But he's so old. It do be like that. Oh yeah, speaking of being reminded about the passage of time, apparently there's going to be a sequel comic to Atlantis, and I feel no joy. I feel no joy about that. Which is sad because I love Atlantis. And I feel like Atlantis and Treasure Planet really got done dirty by Disney when those movies released. And, yeah. Like, a sequel to Atlantis sounds fun. We had that sequel movie with, we had that sequel movie that was supposed to be part of like a TV show, but it never became a TV show, so we just got that like sequel that was basically like the first 3 episodes of what would have been a Atlantis TV show. Why no joy? Because I don't trust modern writers. Yeah, I know Atlantis had video game. I didn't know it had 2. I didn't even know Treasure Planet had a video game, but I have that now. Yeah, Milo's Return. Yeah. It's like if you had the people working on this like new sequel comic that were supposed to work on that show, maybe I would have more faith, but I just don't trust. I don't trust modern writers. I don't trust modern Disney. I don't trust them to do the characters justice anymore. Especially if it's like the people who originally worked on the series aren't really gonna work on it. I don't know much about the creator of Hellboy, but he was the one who did all the character designs for Atlantis. So that's a fun fact. I know his name is Mike, I just don't know how to pronounce his last name. But yeah, it's like, you know, if the current state of modern animation in Disney wasn't as terrible as it is, I would be excited for an Atlantis sequel comic. Treasure Planet actually has 3. One was on PlayStation 1, one was on PlayStation 2, and the other was a CD-ROM. Well, I have the PlayStation 1 game now. I just need a memory card to actually play it, because I only played, like, the first level of it. And it's like, I want to actually enjoy this game. I just need a memory card, please. But, yeah. That's something to talk about. Again, I wish I felt more excitement for it, but I don't, because I'm, like... First of all, I don't even know who they have writing it. I don't know who they have drawing it, so... Yeah, and when it comes to, like, a lot of, like, Disney, like, sequel media and stuff like that, I feel like they tend to just kind of give people the okay to use the characters, and then they kind of just let them do their own continuity thing. Which can work sometimes, but also I feel like, you know, sometimes it just feels weird. And it's like, oh, well... Well, I guess that's more like what the I'm thinking more like the Descendants and like the book stuff. Like there's a lot of like Disney books and stuff like that. Well, it's like the facts in there, sometimes I don't consider them true to the characters. But that's just me personally. To be fair, at least Disney knows how to write cartoons mostly. Better sequels than remakes. Yeah. I still don't agree with the people who are saying like Atlantis and Treasure Planet need live action remakes. I'm like, no, don't. We saw what happened with Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, sure, it made a buttload of money, but most people didn't really like how it changed the themes of the original movie. Or at least that ending, though. That ending was kind of like, why would you do that? People didn't really feel the vibes with it. Especially because some of these live action remakes don't feel like they commit to being different enough from the original to even justify their existence. Because they feel like they play too safe on trying to follow the original story. So that way, whenever they make changes, it just feels weird and dumb and like you missed the point of the movie. Speaking of Disney books, did you know Marvel made a series of comics explaining theme park ride lore? They made them for Haunted Mansion, Journey into Imagination, and The Haunted Mansion. I forget which YouTuber was talking about it. I want to say like Disney Dan or something was talking about it. Or who was the other guy? Or was it Offhand Disney? I don't know. It was one of them Disney Parks channels that was like talking about the comic lore. Remember, Moana is being remade when it's only 10 years old. Yeah, that's... ugh. That one's like, why are you even bothering to do that? Especially if you're like... You're not even committed to fully changing the cast if you rehired Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to be Maui again. And honestly, I don't think he looks good as Maui because it just looks like he's wearing a really bad wig. I mean... Big Thunder Mountain, Disney Dan. Yeah, I think it was him. I don't know, sometimes I kind of lump some of these people together. My memory is kind of eh. Yeah, I've heard that. But yeah, it's like, I also don't like it when the remakes have their own, like, dolls based off of the live-action characters, because the dolls look weird. Like, have you seen that Maui Dwayne Johnson-looking doll thing? It looks creepy. I don't like it. It's giving... what's that chick's name again who played Hermione? It's giving Hermione Bell again, and that was an ugly doll. I can't spell. Disney Dan covered Figment lore, and a big chunk of it was talking about the comics. I have not seen the Maui doll. You're gonna see the Maui doll. I don't like it. I don't like it. He looks scary. Why is this image so tiny? Why won't you give me the full crusty looking image? There. In all of its crusty glory. Fine, I'll do it myself. You are going to see this thing and you are going to feel fear. I feel fear when I look at this. It looks freaky. I don't like it. There's something about the face. I don't like it. Emma Watson. Yeah, I don't like Emma Watson. And that Belle doll was hideous. That live action Belle doll for Emma Watson was hideous, which is honestly sad because Emma Watson doesn't really look like an ugly person either. Like, she looks normal, you know? She looks like a normal person. Like a natural beauty or whatever. And that doll was hideous. Put that thing back for... Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! There's... Yeah, the teeth! The teeth, the face, the eyebrows. It looks too much like a creepy looking caricature of Dwayne Johnson's face. I don't like it. And live action Moana dolls look weird to me in a way where it's like, because like if you've seen a regular Moana doll, she's kind of chunky. Whereas the live action one, it's more like regular Barbie doll proportions, and that's why it feels weird to me. Because like regular Moana dolls, they don't look weird. If I just put like a regular Moana doll. I just put that here, and then we see the new live-action ones. There's just something weird about Moana doll with normal-looking proportions that I'm just like, there's something off here. I don't like it. Like, it looks cute and all, but it's just weird to see. Hold on, let me... Okay, I got them. We no longer need to look at a freaky live-action Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so like, this is a regular-looking Moana doll. You know? Like, she looks basically like you took the 3D model out of the movie and just printed it out as, like, a doll. Goosebumps-looking doll. Disney really does not care anymore. Realism is too much. Yeah, it's like, this is what a normal Moana doll looks like. She's got more like the thicker limbs compared to like most of the other Disney princess dolls. But it doesn't look weird because she looks very much on model. Rapunzel has like a different problem. We're not talking about Rapunzel right now, but like that's like a regular Moana doll. But then like a live action one, it's like, yeah, that's Moana, but I just feel weird about the proportions of the arms and the legs because they're too normal. I mean, the actress is okay, and I feel like the more collector-looking Moana doll looks a little bit better than this, but, like, I'm just not used to, like, normal Barbie doll proportions for this character. I don't like it. It's like, the outfits are fine, you know? They look better than the animated one. Like, they're like on the same level. It's just the proportions. Moana is not an American girl. We're talking about the doll brand. Yeah, there's just something weird about the live action version, which it wasn't really a problem with some of the other characters because like their dolls usually had like normal Barbie doll looking proportions. Moana was always the exception because she was like designed that way, and because, you know, technology's better, you can make a doll that looks more accurate to its 3D counterpart. Its movie counterpart, I guess. Except for Rapunzel. Rapunzel's just weird because her head is so big. Like, in general. The dolls look kind of weird to me because, like, they have small eyes. Disney does not know how to make realistic faces. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think the live-action Cinderella dolls don't look that bad. like some of the other characters don't look that bad, but that Belle one was a crime. That was a crime against dolls. Let me see. Cinder. Hold on. Yeah, like the Cinderella one looks cute. Like it looks like the actress, but it doesn't look like a caricature of her face. It looks more like a Barbie doll, which doesn't bother me because like a lot of official Cinderella dolls kind of looked like a Barbie doll to begin with. Like they had like a Barbie doll face mold or something. Like the Cinderella one doesn't look that weird to me. Because it just reminds me of like the older Barbie Mattel Cinderella dolls or whatever. I don't think Mattel used to make those old Cinderella dolls. I know Mattel sometimes, like Mattel has a history of kind of flipping their contracts with like Disney or whatever. Like they've made some Cinderella dolls, they've made, and I think Hasbro has made the more like cheap ones. But yeah, the live action Cinderella doll doesn't look that bad. I just looked up the Belle doll. Why does Bro look like a creepy marble statue? I think, if I remember correctly, there was a video about this doll before, and I think it's because, I don't know if it was specifically because Emma Watson wanted this, or it just, whatever toy manufacturer, or if it was like a cheap thing, but the way that they made that doll specifically was something you would do more with like an action figure rather than a doll. So when it came to adding the hair on it, it was just weird, and she has a big old forehead. Like, there was something about that one's production where I was like, it was just made weird. And it did no justice. And like Emma Watson, I don't like her as a person, but like she doesn't look ugly. But that doll looks hideous. That thing gave her a 5 head. Not even a 5 head. A 10 head. Why do you need an action figure for a princess? I don't think it was because they wanted to make it an action figure. I don't know. I don't remember the details. I just know that there is a video about this somewhere. And it kind of explains what went wrong. I think it was, I don't know exactly what company produced it either. I think it had something to do with the production. It either had something to do with the company making it, or they decided to do something cheaper with it. Cause like, yeah, there's something wrong with the forehead. Like, it's, ugh. I think some people have tried to make it look better. And I think there's different versions of this that actually look more, you know, not like a giant 5 head. But like that one infamous Belle doll was just, ugh. That was horrible. Which is ironic because Belle's supposed to be like a very pretty character. Low key, the Belle doll makes Belle look like her head has been crushed. Yeah. It's not a very good doll. I think there is other live action Belle dolls from that era that weren't made by that same company that actually look like Emma Watson, but without a giant 5 head. So yeah, like I don't know much. I just know that doll looked really weird. But yeah, I don't really like live action Disney princess dolls all that much. So it's like, even though some of them look okay for what they are, some of them I'm just like, nah, I don't want that. I want the ones that look more like the animated characters, because I think they look better. I do like some of those Disney Princess collector dolls that they have. Like, they're cute. Like, their designs are cute. And I'm talking about the ones that are like, you know, like 80 something dollars and they got like really pretty dresses and like really pretty boxes. Those look cute. Oh, let me see. Because like I do remember seeing some at the parks and like I was always tempted to buy one of them. They had I think they had an Aurora doll there at one point, and it was like really pretty, and I'm just like, I kind of want this, but it's too big, and I don't know where I would put it. But it was pretty. Random thought. I wonder how an Emperor's New Groove remake would work. Yeah, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? I don't even want to think about it. Some things are better animated and they don't need a live action remake. And I don't even think like a CG 3D new animation remake would work for it either. It just has a very distinct like 2D humor animation to it that I'm just like, I don't think you could replicate this. I don't think you can capture the essence of Emperor's New Groove in a remake. It was like a lightning in a bottle situation. That's also how I feel about Avatar: The Last Airbender. That original season, that original run of the show, television perfection, deserves to be recognized in the history books, but like everything that has been put out after the original run, I'm just like, what happened? What happened to the spark? What happened to the sauce? Korra was a mistake. Unless they decided to remake its Kingdom of the Sun idea. That would be smarter. And I'm surprised that Disney as a company hasn't really done that much. Where, like, they take, like, an old idea from, like, The Vault and actually try to fulfill it as a full movie. I'm only familiar with that ever happening with Frozen. Where back in like the 40s or something, or the 50s, Disney wanted to make an adaptation of was it the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen? I think it was like the Snow Queen or whatever, that Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. Like they wanted to make a Disney movie out of it in like the 40s. They never did. And then at some point after the success of Tangled, they started working on that idea again and it morphed into Frozen. I'll tell you what happened to Avatar. Activism. The Snow Queen. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I'm just like, you know, I feel like the reason why I don't want to see them tackle old ideas in the modern era is because they'll end up like Frozen. Where it's like you have like years of cool concept art, and then you have like the new concept art where it's like all this stuff looks great, and then the final product is kind of like eh. We got a Soviet Snow Queen, though, and a CGI Snow Queen film series. I have heard about the Soviet Snow Queen adaptation, though. I also read, I've read, like, a shortened version of the Snow Queen fairy tale. And, like, it was, like, a collection of, like, modernized fairy tales or whatever. But, like, that rendition of the Snow Queen was basically just one for one the original. I just wonder how they'd do the Gremlins movie. Isn't Gremlins the reason why we have a new age rating system for movies? Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen the original Gremlins movie like in full. I just know of it, and it's been like referenced in so many things for like ever. Where it's like I honestly don't know if I've ever actually seen the movie in full or not, because of how many times it's been referenced in like other things. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't trust modern writers to do sequels anymore or things like that. Not the 1980s Gremlins, the epic Mickey kind of Gremlins. They were from a movie idea Walt Disney had but scrapped. Oh, I didn't know they were going to do something with those Gremlins. I do remember those Gremlins from Epic Mickey though. They were kind of cute looking. I didn't even know what they were at first, honestly, when I played the game when I was a kid. Mainly because I never finished the game as a kid. I got stuck on Mickey Jug Mountain and I didn't know what I was doing. That was back when I was like pretty young, so I didn't really pay attention too much to the plot of my video games. But now I'm interested in learning more about that because I know a lot of like the concept art and stuff for like Epic Mickey was pretty cool. Yeah, a channel called Scribbles to Scream talked about the Gremlins movie in a video of his about Disney. Was this like Gremlins in the sense of like their original like context of evil little creatures that break technology? Evil little fairy creatures. Remember what the gaming division of Disney took from you. Yeah. I'm sad they don't make Disney games anymore. Like Disney as a company doesn't make their own games anymore. They just outsource to other places to make most of their games. They don't even make movie games anymore. No, the Gremlins in the movie were little inventors. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that is still paying attention to like their original lore origins when it comes to like fairy lore. Because I don't know how accurate it is or not, but I think it was around like the turn of the century in Europe when like people started talking about like gremlins being these little fairy mischief makers that go into your technology and technology only and just break shit. But yeah. It is funny to think about people back in like the 1800s kind of being like, this thing broke because of gremlins. My plane crashed because of gremlin. But that would have been cute, honestly. Honestly, there's like a lot of cool concepts in movies that never became full movies back from the era when Walt was still around. As well as after. Like, yeah, it makes you wonder what would have happened if we had like a full length movie of some of these things. Especially when it came to like those hybrid movies in like the 40s where you basically had some cartoon shorts mashed in between like a live action movie. Speaking of ancient Disney, I feel like Song of the South got way more heat than it should have. It's not my cup of tea, but aside from maybe the Tar Baby, it's not as racist as they say. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about that story. Honestly, I feel like people overreacted to it. Because, like, I know people have their opinions about Walt Disney as a person. And from what I can tell, I genuinely don't think the dude was an evil racist. I think he probably was just ignorant of certain things. Like, I don't think he was a malicious, evil racist or whatever. Which is why I don't think there was anything really negative with the Song of the South. It was more like just, you know, he liked something from his childhood, he wanted to make it into like a movie. You know? Because that was also the motivation behind Alice in Wonderland. He just obsessed with it since he was a kid, decided to make stuff about it. Walt Disney was simply a man of his times who looked towards the future. Yeah, pretty much. Because, like, I don't know if how true it is, but I think after the stuff with like Song of the South and Dumbo, he actually like paid a little bit more attention about how he would like hire people. Because I don't know if it was Walt Disney himself that said this or not, but I'm pretty sure he was like, we can't have a black man actually play King Louie in the Jungle Book because that would come off as offensive. Even though the character is inspired by Louis Armstrong. I think I remember hearing about that somewhere. I don't know if he said it himself or if somebody was like telling him like we probably shouldn't do that. Because I think it also had something to do with like Song of the South and Dumbo or something, but I think it had mostly to do with Song of the South because I don't think Dumbo, at least back then, was getting too criticized for anything deemed racially insensitive. I mean, I'm pretty sure the crows were like a play on words, but I don't think it was anything like malicious in mind. It was just a pun. And that's why we got the second best Louis for the job. Yeah. Because like he cared about the art, the process of the art, so I feel like he would take some of these things to heart, you know? He didn't really care about people's backgrounds as far as I can tell, as long as it's like, you're good at what you do, I'm hiring you. I think Dumbo was only getting criticized in the 2020s. Yeah, I think so too. Especially looking back on some of these things, I feel like with Pocahontas, I feel like not that many people were criticizing it back when it was released, but a lot of the criticism for it came much later. Despite the fact that it was like one of those movies where it's like, yeah, we did our research about the tribe we are depicting here. We hired a woman from this tribe to voice the character. Like, they did research. They went in mind knowing that this was going to be more of like a fantasy fairy tale story, not an actual historical documentary. He didn't remember a woman gave It's a Small World the iconic style, and he hired a black animator. Oh. Yeah, he liked working with, Mary Blair was like a very important, very important to a lot of these old Disney movies. Like, her concept art was like the most important thing. I think it was him who said that, like, he really wanted to try and capture her art in animation, but it was like not very easy. I didn't know Pocahontas had native voice actors. Yeah, I think, is it the Blackfoot that they were representing in the movie? Yeah, because I know they did that with Mulan too, where they hired like a Chinese American, I think, to voice Mulan. Like even back in like the 80s and like 90s, they kind of paid attention to, like, if we're telling a story from like another culture, we'll try to do our research on it. They probably did that after Aladdin, honestly, because Aladdin came out before those movies as well, and I feel like there were people criticizing them, like, hey, why didn't you hire, like, actual people from the cultures or whatever, but, like, I don't know, Aladdin is a different story. I know Ming Nang Wen was Mulan, yeah. Yeah. And I think there was a few other, Chinese American, like, voice actors in that movie. Not every character, but, like, some. I know Jackie Chan was, like, part of that movie. I think he was, like... I think he did some live action reference stuff for the movie, I think. I don't know. I just remember the DVD of Mulan having a music video with Jackie Chan singing a Shang song. I just remember that. But, like, even he had some involvement in the production of Mulan to some degree. I don't know exactly what, but I just remember that video. Jackie Chan. Yeah. That was a thing. I feel like I'm not crazy. I know that there was, like, a music video in, like, the DVD copy of Mulan with, like, Jackie Chan or something. Because I think that's when me and my sister were actually introduced to Jackie Chan. Was that Mulan music video? I think. But, like, you get the idea. Jackie Chan was a Chinese voice actor, I think, for Xian, if I remember my fun fact shorts right. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Like, I do think he had some involvement with the production, if I'm not hallucinating that music video. Hello, welcome, we're yapping. Hi. Hi, Lulu. We started yapping about Mulan and this Jackie Chan music video of Jackie Chan singing "I'll Make a Man Out of You." And I hope I'm not hallucinating its existence. Like, I think that's real. I'm too lazy to fact check, and I'm not at my usual place, so I can't just grab the DVD to see if it's actually on there or not. But I think that is real. Yeah, we're gonna probably be yapping for a while. Again, I'm not at my usual setup. Things are slightly different. I am yapping on a roll. Have a limbeer. I knew I wasn't hallucinating! Because I'm pretty sure that's how me and my sister were introduced to the actor, the man, the myth, the legend that is Jackie Chan. Wait, I want to see if my friend knows about this. I'm probably just gonna send him the music video and see what he thinks. I don't know if he's familiar with it. If I can spell correctly. Oh yeah, it's real. Let me see. I just want to copy, paste, and send it to my friend and see what his thoughts are. Oh, I found it already. I found it. I know it's real. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you sending me this? Like, I thought of you. Yeah. Jackie Chan singing "I'll Make a Man Out of You" official music video. Jackie Chan. a lot of random Disney stuff, honestly. Have you seen have you seen that live action Maui doll? It scares me. This scares me. There's just something about the face of this doll that scares me. The teeth, the eyes. It scares me. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't really like those live action Disney dolls. Most of the time it's just because I don't really like the live action in the first place. But this one is a special case. It's reminding me of that horrible Belle doll. Where it's like, what happened? Why do you look so wrong? It watches you when you sleep. It does. Not like it looks worse than Dwayne the Rock Johnson in that wig. Like it looks worse than the actual like costuming for live action Maui. I don't know, I just don't like seeing Dwayne the Rock Johnson with long hair. It just does not look right on him. Like I know he had hair when he was younger, but like he had like, you know, man haircuts. He had like that regular kind of like shaved-ish kind of look to his hair. Like he had like a normal dude haircut or whatever. He never had long locks as far as I can remember, and it just looked weird on him. I don't like it. It looks like he's wearing a bad wig. I don't like it. I don't like that we're getting a live-action Moana movie 10 years after the original. Like, it feels like, why? Why are you trying to milk it? Why did you butcher the sequel? Why did you butcher the sequel to the movie by making it a movie instead of actually trying to make it like a Disney Plus cartoon series? Because that's what it felt like. I've seen Moana 2. It felt like a long pilot episode, okay? That's what it felt like. And it should have been a pilot episode for an actual TV show. It's giving Milo's return. It's giving... This was supposed to be a cartoon, but we didn't turn it into a cartoon because fuck you. Because it's USA Disney. Pretty much. They were just like, how can we milk the Moana franchise more, despite the fact that turning it into a TV show would be just good? They want money. Yes, the answer to most of the problems with the universe at this point is people just want money. That's it. And they'll ruin perfectly good ideas by doing stupid shit that still earns them too much money, honestly, because there's always going to be people who will still watch these things. Like, there's still going to be too many people going out there to watch the live-action Moana movie because they genuinely want to see a live-action Moana movie for some reason. They pulled in Azul. I don't even think Azul is this money-hungry, desperate for money. Not even Azul is this bad. Modern corporations are really just giving Mr. Krabs. They do not care. Not even Mr. Krabs. But Mr. Krabs is like a pretty greedy character in fiction. But it's like, not even that. They're just straight up like, we do not care anymore. We just want money. We are abusing your nostalgia. And I think that's kind of scummy. Because there's a lot of things you can do that are better than just, let's try and milk a sequel out of this, despite the fact that this is clearly not meant to be a full-fledged sequel. Moana 2 was just meant to be a TV show, and they should have left it as such, you know? I think I said it before, too, on a stream before, but it's like, it should have just been a sequel. like it should have been a TV show, kind of like how we got like a Tangled TV show, and like all those TV shows from the 90s that were like based off of 90s Disney movies. Like The Little Mermaid had a TV show. Aladdin and Hercules had TV show, and they would cross over, you know, like, yeah. I mean, I said it's Disney. Yeah. I wish they actually cared again. You should see what they plan for other shows. I know that they were supposed to give Tiana a show, but they never did. Which is why which is partially why I think they wanted to get rid of Splash Mountain. Is because they were going to make a show for Tiana anyway. And they were gonna, like, you know, do the whole replace Splash Mountain with Princess and the Frog. But the fact that they ended up canceling the show, but they still use the concept stuff from the show on the ride, I feel like that's also why most people didn't really like the ride that much, because if they actually made the show for the character, the ride probably would have made more sense. But they didn't. It's so weird because I think stuff that they should have made TV shows, they don't make TV shows for, and they make sequels, but then the stuff that they make sequels for, they should have left with making it as a TV show. Because Frozen has a sequel, but I think because the people had so much like lore stuff for Frozen, it should have been a TV show. Instead of a terrible sequel that I honestly did not like, and I don't remember much of it anyway. Like, it should have been a TV show. You didn't need to actually make a proper sequel to this movie, especially because there's a nightmare production history behind it. Like, there's a document about the production of Frozen 2, like a documentary that Disney willingly put out there about the process of making Frozen 2, and all I can get from it is that all these animators were struggling. All these writers, everybody working on Frozen 2 was just struggling to come up with a cohesive story. And they were still forced to make Frozen 2 to release it for like the holiday season or whatever, and it's like, bro, why did you keep trying to make this work? They were struggling. Why would you willingly put that out there? Did you really think it was gonna make it look good? That just makes the sequel feel, in my opinion, worse. The fact that everybody who was working on this movie was struggling to figure out how to make this a movie. Mark my words. We will see them in twists soon. Unfortunately. I don't know. I don't know if Yana will consider putting anything past Princess and the Frog, in this movie so far. Because, I mean, we had our chance with, Appel's hometown, because he's a character that's supposed to be from a region similar to Norway, Scandinavia kind of vibes. It's very, like, northeastern Europe or whatever. But, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they might show up eventually, because, I mean, Yana is a Disney fan, too. And I feel like Japanese fans in general do kind of like some of the live-action stuff that's been made so far, so I don't know. I think she has made fan art for Frozen, if I remember correctly, back when it was, like, released. I know she made, art for the live-action Cruella movie as well, like, Yana knows her Disney lore, that's for sure. And honestly, if she were to add characters from Frozen into Twisted Wonderland, I feel like she'd do a better job representing them. Like, I trust Yana's interpretation. Like, the fact that Jamil has a sister and that lines up with Jafar's lore based off of like the sequel movies and the TV show. Well, I think it's the TV show specifically, the Aladdin TV show, that acknowledged that Jafar had a twin sister or something. And it's like, not that many people even remember Aladdin had a TV show to begin with, so... So, like, she knows her stuff. She also is familiar with the Disney Descendants movies. She's drawn art for that, too. I mean, Appel worked because of Snow White, so you have the Queen, the Apple, the Hunter. Yeah. Yeah, that is what Appel is based off of anyway, clearly. He is supposed to fit more with, like, the Snow White theme. Yeah. Whereas, I feel like if we ever get, like, another event related to, like, a Disney movie again, kind of like the Tangled event, I feel like we probably wouldn't get characters for Frozen. Because, like, we had a Tangled event, and it was, like, a mini event, you know, one of them filler events. We might get characters in cute outfits, though, so... That's why I'm wondering if we'll even get villains from those movies in, like, the next Halloween event. Because as far as I can tell, almost every character that's been introduced so far has been from, like, animated 2D Disney movies. And Frozen would be for more of if, like, students from different schools come, I guess, if you get it. I mean, it might be, like, another little filler event, like, the Tangled one. Like, that's the vibe I get for if you wanted to include Frozen, it'll probably be something like that. Lilo and Stitch was very special, though. That was a very special event because that is one of her favorite movies. So the fact that we got Stitch and he was voiced by his Japanese voice actor, and I think Gantu in the actual Japanese version, that was like a big deal. In my opinion, probably. Because that is one of her favorite movies. Which is why I'm still hoping for Treasure Planet as like an event. Because that's also one of her favorite movies. And we had 2 Nightmare Before Christmas events as well, and that's also one of her favorite movies. But I think that's specifically for like Tim Burton or something, but still, like, you know. I think if she really, really likes something, we'll probably get a more special event for it than if she's like, yeah, I kind of like it. Like, yeah, I kind of like this movie. I want to see Riddle with long hair again. Yeah, he was so cute with the long hair. And his character really does fit with, Rapunzel. They're similar enough in vibes and energy. They got that similar, terrible relationship with their mother. It just works very well. But yeah, I do remember hearing that the concept art for Twisted Wonderland had, like, I don't know, like, 13 dorms or something. Maybe even more than that, I think. But, like, it got whittled down to 7. So, like, I feel like characters, like, that we see in the Halloween events were probably characters that were considered in those early drafts, but never got to become full dorms. Honestly. Oh, alas, the Lily and Stitch summer event was so fluffy. The inspiration for the comic event I'm doing. Mommy's Club. Oh, that's cute! Now it makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of why if we ever get like a Treasure Planet event, I kind of hope Deuce is gonna get the SSR, because I feel like Deuce is the character that's pulling a lot from Jim. Former delinquent tries to turn his life around by making his mother proud. They have a similar base origin. Yeah, part 1 is the road trip. Oh, that's cute. Although I do know that there is kind of a manga trope in general for like a former delinquent trying to be an honors student. Like that showed up in a lot of manga to begin with, but I do think Deuce is specifically taking a little bit of inspiration from Jim. Like I can see it because I'm crazy. But like the fact that Deuce has like that interest in like mechanics and stuff like that, I feel like that's where the Jim Hawkins is coming from. The little mechanical tinker, I see you. Like, please let us get a Treasure Planet event when Deuce says the SSR, please. I know Deuce has like an event SSR for like his hometown, but like Treasure Planet, please. we have to have Deuce. I am delusional in my opinion that that's part of Deuce's secondary character inspiration. Mainly based on the fact that that just happens to be one of Yana's favorite movies of like all time. When it comes to like Disney movies. She clearly has like a lot of different inspirations going on, but when it comes to like the Disney stuff, and then you hear that Treasure Planet and Lilo and Stitch were like her favorite movies, and then you hear her reasons why they're her favorite movies, you can even see the inspiration in Black Butler to some extent, if you're crazy enough. We love Deuce. Yes, we do. He's a cutie patootie. He is now placed higher in my list of favorite characters, but he's still not gonna top Ortho. Or Riddle, like they're my absolute favorites. Villain Lilia as well, like they're all kind of up there. I like them too much. But Deuce is adorable, like he cute. I like him. He could come up here too sometimes, and Ida. Although I like making fun of Ida a little bit. It's like part of why I like his character is just like, haha, I do that. And I poke fun of him for it. OMG, don't remind me of Black Butler right now. The latest chapter had me so confused. I still need to catch up on this. I still need to catch up on the manga. What do you mean he has a twink? I just remember around the time where I left off. Oh, twin. What do you mean he has a twin? Yeah, that's around where I left off. Manga was when that was revealed. I left off the manga when the twin was like revealed, but like that was about where I remember. I haven't picked up since then because I just lost access to public library with a vast assortment of manga. The library around where I live now does not have a manga section at all, and I don't think people around here even want to bother trying to fill it out. I don't think there's people passionate enough here for a manga club. And if there were, they probably would have a terrible taste in selection, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I still need to catch up on it. But like from what I remember, because I do also remember when I was reading the series, around that part where the twin lore was starting to drop, she took a hiatus. And that was because of the production of Twisted Wonderland. But I still think that public school arc was just prototype Twisted Wonderland. just because of some of the character designs alone from that arc, and the fact that like production for the game was kind of starting to be a thing during that arc of the manga. And then, like, at some point, she takes the hiatus for the series. My story has yaoi and it's scary. My book story has yaoi and it's scary. Surprise. Whew. I think I will call it here now. And then I never went back to that story again. Oof. I think that's about enough yapping today. We almost reached 2 hours. Wow. Oh, you got jump scared by yaoi at the bookstore. Oof. I think it is about time to call it. I need to make lunch. We yapped for nearly 2 hours. It was a pleasure yapping. We might do that again tomorrow for nearly 2 hours. Bye-bye. I needed to let the laptop rest before I start doing some doodles. Hopefully I can get something colored by the 8th. We'll see.